We sick and tired of being sick and tired.
This is about our humanity.
People using their words to express their anger.
You can't stop the revolution!
With what they see as an injustice, the killing of Breonna Taylor in that raid on March 13th.
The police officers are making their way.
This is starting to boil over.
On May 28, 2020, in a little tent, frustration, anger, and mistrust of police.
They are trying to flip this thing right now.
Exploded into protest on downtown Louisville streets. Breonna Taylor's death during a police raid lit a fire of outrage. Change gonna come. Demonstrators took to the streets the day this 911 call was released. Her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, on the line, saying he didn't know who was at the door when officers busted in at 1 a.m., that they thought they were being robbed. Walker fired a shot. Police returned a hail of bullets, and Breonna Taylor died.
I just demand justice for Breonna.
It sparks public conversation on excessive force, systematic oppression, police brutality, and the ever-growing number of African-American people killed by police officers.
Please don't touch the officers. The officers are not going to touch you. You all can do anything else, the screaming, the yelling, the doing anything.
But peaceful rallies turned to chaos, looting, and violence. For 83-year-old Manfred Reed,
they will never stop killing innocent black people.
Now the war is not over. It's history repeating itself in Louisville.
Well, if you've ever been hit by blackjack, it hurts.
In some ways, Reed was the Breonna Taylor of his time, except he lived
right here
to tell the story. But it was his 1968 run-in with the Louisville officer that brought protesters to the streets.
To have that kind of support, being black and living in Louisville, Kentucky, it was probably the most inspiring feeling that you could have.
He'd stopped to check on a friend, a black teacher being questioned by police for a robbery near 24th and Broadway. Reed was a well-known real estate broker at the time, active in the black community's equal housing fight to end redlining. The officer who hit and arrested Reed was fired for excessive force, but the Civil Service Commission, much like today's police merit board, voted to reinstate him.
We wanted people to understand that we were about to stand up for justice.
Sam Hawkins organized a rally in support of Reed at 28th and Greenwood on May 27, 1968. Almost 52 years to the day, the demonstrators took to the streets on Breonna Taylor's behalf. At the time, Hawkins was the president of the Black Unity League of Kentucky,
which was called BULK.
Kind of like today's Black Lives Matter.
There was a great hostility in the community about what was going on. As I said, we were being abused physically by folks who were armed, which were police.
This picture was taken moments before the rally turned to unrest.
Police come out of that alley back there.
And we went back to the scene with Hawkins.
The first rocks and bottles come off of the little palace right here.
The parallels between the 68 protests and today's movement are fascinating. Both instances saw the murder of other high-profile African Americans intensify emotions. In 68, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. died 1 month before protesters took to the streets for Reed. George Floyd was killed days before rallies for Breonna Taylor.
They tried everything in the world to do to get us off the street.
Both movements came amid national protests. Both movements saw mayors implement a curfew and governors send in the National Guard to aid in response. And both movements saw casualties die in the chaos.
Race, housing, poor housing, education, all the issues that we face today were of the same issues that we faced at that time.
What's gonna happen? Yeah. The civil unrest of 1968 lasted a week. History books say there were 119 fires set, 472 people arrested, and $250,000 in damage. That's about $2 million today.
Stop money flow. Things change.
The state charged 6 people with conspiracy and inciting a riot, Hawkins and Reed among them.
I lost my children, my wife, all the real estate holdings I had, my wealth, and my credentials.
All 6 were acquitted in 1970, but the Parkland community, once bustling with business, never recovered.
There are wolves among you as peaceful sheep. When somebody comes up with a bat, a brick, That's not a peaceful protester.
While the similarities in these two movements are many, it's the differences that give these two men hope.
Diversity. And there's a better understanding among government officials when they hear the issues today compared to what they heard 52 years ago.
And I say, brother, help me please.
I want you to know that I hear you, your city hears you, and your country hears you.
Manford Reed was appointed to the city's Housing Commission 20 years ago. He still sits as chairman at age 83.
Louisville Metro community come together.
In 2017, the city offered perhaps its greatest apology, awarding him the MLK Award for Freedom.
What would be your advice to the people who are protesting against injustice today?
If you look at what they have done in the last few weeks, they're standing on our shoulders. We have to move forward. Don't stop.
Change gon' come.